So Usha's companion, Chitralekha, asked her who she had been addressing. And Usha told her everything. So hearing of Usha's dream lover, right, Chitralekha tried to relieve her distress by drawing various pictures of the Gandharvas and also all the celestial personalities, right? So Chitralekha asked Usha to pick out the man whom she had in her dreams. And Usha pointed to the picture of Aniruddha. And Chitralekha, she had a mystic power. She knew at once that it was grandson of Krishna. Aniruddha was there. So using her mystic powers, she went to Dwaraka, found Aniruddha, brought him to Shunitapura, that is Bāṇāsura's capital. And there she presented him to Usha. So having obtained the man of her dreams, right, she started serving him very affectionately. In fact, that where she was staying, it was supposed to be strictly of men, right? But Aniruddha was bought. After some time, the female guards, of the inner palace, they noticed symptoms of some sexual activity. So they went to Bāṇāsura to inform him. So he was greatly disturbed. So he rushed to his Usha's apartment, the palace, right, where many armed guards were there. And to his great surprise, he saw Aniruddha was there. There he saw that Usha and Aniruddha were sitting together and talking. One beautiful thing he saw, they looked very beautiful together. And Aniruddha being the son of Pradyumna, who was Cupid himself. So Bāṇāsura saw his daughter and Aniruddha as a suitable match. But yet for family prestige, he did not like the combination. So Bāṇāsura could not understand who the boy actually was. He appreciated the fact that Usha could not have selected anyone in the three worlds more beautiful than Aniruddha. Still, Bāṇāsura was very angry. So as the guards attacked him, Aniruddha took up his club. He was huge and very powerful and succeeded in killing many of them before Bāṇāsura could capture him with his mystic Nagapasha ropes. Then Usha was feeling lamented because now Aniruddha was caught. Now, this is the background of the previous chapter. Now, in the 4 months of the rainy season passed, Aniruddha had still not returned home. So all the members of the Yadu family, they were becoming very much perturbed. They been carried to the city of Shonitapura, the capital of Bāṇāsura's empire, right? And how Bāṇāsura had arrested him with the Nagapasha. Even though Aniruddha had defeated his soldiers, right? So this news was given in very detail by Narada Muni. So the whole story was disclosed. Then the members of the Yadu dynasty, see, all of whom had great affection for Krishna, they prepared to attack the city of Shonitapura. Practically all the leaders of the family, right, including Pradyumna, Satyaki, Samba, right, many of them combined together and they gathered 12 Akshoni military divisions into phalanxes. So they all went to Shonitapura and surrounded it with soldiers, elephants, hero horses, chariots, right? Huge. Now, Bāṇāsura heard that the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty, they were attacking the whole city. They were tearing down the walls, gates, gardens, everything. So he was very angry now. So he immediately ordered his soldiers, and they were also very equal in caliber, very good, to go and face them. Lord Shiva was so kind to Bāṇāsura that he personally came as a commander-in-chief of the military force of Bāṇāsura. And he assisted, Lord Shiva was assisted by his sons, Kartikeya and Ganapati. Nandishwara, the Lord Shiva's favorite bull, right? So he led the fighting against Lord Krishna and Balaram. See, we can simply imagine, right, how the fierce fighting was. Lord Shiva with his valiant sons, on one side, and Lord Krishna and his elder brother Balaramji on the other side. The fighting was so fierce that those who saw the battle, they were struck with wonder. And naturally, hairs on their bodies were stood up. So Lord Shiva was engaged in fighting directly with Krishna. Pradyumna was engaged with Kartikeya. Lord Balaram was engaged with Bāṇāsura's commander-in-chief, Kumbhanda, and who was assisted by Kupakarna. Now Samba, the son of Krishna, he fought the son of Bāṇāsura. And Bāṇāsura was fought with Satyaki, the commander-in-chief of the Yadu dynasty. So in this way, the fighting was going on. So news of this fighting spread all over the universe. See, demigods such as Lord Brahma from the higher planetary systems, along with the great sages and saintly persons, like Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, they all were very curious to see the fight between Lord Shiva and Krishna and their assistants. And they were hovering the battlefield over their airplanes. Lord Shiva is called Bhutanath because he is assisted by various types of powerful ghosts, denizens, right? Bhutas, Pretas, etc. So Krishna simply drove away all those ghosts away from the battlefield with the arrows, his celebrated arrow, which is known as Sharangadhanur. Release all his selected weapons against Krishna. Without any difficulty, Krishna counteracted all these weapons. He counteracted the Brahmastra, similar to the atom bomb, with another Brahmastra. An air weapon with a mountain weapon. So when Lord Shiva released a particular weapon, which was bringing about a violent hurricane, Lord Krishna presented opposing element, that is a mountain weapon, which checked the hurricane on the spot. So when Lord Shiva released his weapon of devastating, Krishna countered. When Lord Shiva released his personal weapon, Pashupata Astra, Krishna immediately counteracted with a Narayana Astra. Lord Shiva then became exasperated in fighting with Lord Krishna. Krishna then took the opportunity to release his yawning weapon. Yawning, right? So when this weapon is released, the opposing party becomes tired, stops fighting, and begins to yawn. So Lord Shiva became so fatigued that he refused to fight anymore and began yawning. Now Krishna was now able to turn his attention from the attack of Lord Shiva to the efforts of Bāṇāsura. So he began to kill Bāṇāsura's personal soldiers, right, and everyone with his swords and clubs. Meanwhile, Lord Krishna's son Pradyumna was fighting very fiercely with Kartikeya, who was the commander-in-chief of the demigods, right? Kartikeya was. And he was wounded, and ultimately he left the battlefield without fighting anymore. He was riding on his back of his peacock carrier. Lord Balrama smashed Bāṇāsura's commander-in-chief, Kumbhanda, with the strokes of his club. Kumbhakarna was also wounded in this way. So both he and Kumbhanda, they fell on the battlefield. So without guidance, all of Bāṇāsura's soldiers, they were scattered here and there. So when Bāṇāsura saw that his soldiers and commanders had been defeated, he became very angry. It increased. He thought it wise to stop fighting with Satyaki, who was the commander-in-chief, right, Krishna's commander-in-chief, and instead directly go and attack Krishna. So now he got the opportunity to use his 1,000 arms, right? So he rushed towards Krishna, simultaneously working 500 bows, and 2,000 arrows. Such a foolish person. He could never measure Krishna's strength. Immediately, without any difficulty, Krishna, he cut each of Bāṇāsura's bows into 2 pieces. And to check him from going further, he made the horses of Bāṇāsura's chariot lie on the ground so that the chariot broke to pieces. And then Krishna blew his conch shell, Panchajanya. See, there was a demigoddess named Kotara, who was worshipped by Bāṇāsura. Are you able to hear me, Pushpata?
Now, yes, Prabhu, for
Yeah.
about 2 minutes we had lost you.
Sorry, okay.
It is on and off, it is getting broken.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Some internet issue here. So he was a very foolish person, right? So Krishna broke. So there was a demigoddess named Kotara who was worshipped Bāṇāsura. And their relationship was as mother and son. So Kotara was upset that Bāṇāsura's life was in danger. So she appeared on the scene, right? With a naked body and scattered hair, she stood before Krishna. So Krishna did not like the sight of this naked woman. So to avoid seeing her, he turned his face. So Bāṇāsura, getting this chance, to escape Krishna's attack, he left the battlefield. All the strings of his bows were being broken. So there was no chariot or driver also. So he had no alternative but to return to his city. He lost everything in the battle. So greatly harassed by the arrows of Kṛṣṇa, all the associates of Lord Shiva, no, they also left the battlefield. So Lord Shiva at last resort, he released the greatest death weapon known as Shiva Jwara, which destroys excessive heat. It is said that at the end of the creation, the sun becomes 12 times more scorching than usual. So this 12 times hotter temperature is called Shiva Jwara. So when the Shiva Jwara personified was released, it had 3 heads and 3 legs. And Shiva Jwara, when it came forward towards Kṛṣṇa, it appeared that it was burning everything to ashes. So it was so powerful, he made the blazing fire appear in all directions. And Kṛṣṇa observed that it was specifically coming towards him. As there is a Shiva Jwara weapon, there is also a Narayana Jwara weapon, which is represented by excessive cold. So when there is excessive heat, one can somehow or the other tolerate it. But when there is excessive cold, everything collapses. So this is actually experienced by a death person in death, right? Deathbed. At the time of death, temperature of the body, first of all, increases to 107 degrees Fahrenheit. And the whole body collapses and immediately becomes as cold as ice. So to counteract the scorching heat of the Shiva Jwara, there is no other weapon but the Narayana Jwara. So when Kṛṣṇa saw that the Shiva Jwara had been released by Lord Shiva, he had no recourse other than to release the Narayana Jwara. Lord Kṛṣṇa is the original Narayana and the control of the Narayana Jwara weapon. So when the Narayana Jwara was released, there was a great fight between the two Jwaras, Shiva Jwara and Narayana Jwara. So when the excessive heat is counteracted by extreme cold, it is natural for the hot temperature to gradually reduce. And this is what occurred in the fight between Shiva Jwara and Narayana Jwara. Gradually, the Shiva Jwara's temperature diminished, and the Shiva Jwara began to cry for help from Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was unable to help him in the presence of Narayana Jwara. So unable to get any help from Lord Shiva, the Shiva Jwara could understand that he has said of surrendering unto Narayana Jwara, unto Narayana, right? Lord Kṛṣṇa himself. So he had no escape, but he would surrender to Kṛṣṇa. See, the interesting point to understand, Lord Shiva, greatest of the demigods, he could not help him. So what to speak of the lesser demigods? So Shiva Jwara ultimately surrendered to Kṛṣṇa, bowing before him, offering a prayer so that the Lord might be pleased and give him protection. So this incident of the fight between the ultimate weapons of Lord Shiva and Kṛṣṇa, Shiva Jwara and Narayana Jwara, it proves that if Kṛṣṇa gives someone protection, no one can kill him. And if Kṛṣṇa does not give one protection, no one can save him. See, Lord Shiva is called Mahadev, the greatest of all demigods. See, although sometimes Lord Brahma is considered the greatest of all demigods because he can create, Lord Shiva can annihilate the creations of Brahma. Still, both Lord Brahma and Shiva act only in one capacity. Lord Brahma can create, Lord Shiva can annihilate. But neither of them can maintain. Lord Vishnu not only maintains, but creates and annihilates also. So the creation is not affected by Brahma because Brahma himself is created by Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva is created of Brahma. So the Shiva Jwara understood that without Kṛṣṇa or Narayana, no one can help him. So he therefore took the shelter of Kṛṣṇa and with folded hands began to pray as follows. Very nice prayers. You can go through that. Time is of the essence. Very beautiful prayers of Shiva Jwara. Because it says, my dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you because you have unlimited potencies. No one can surpass your potencies, and thus you are the Lord of everyone. So a lot of beautiful points, completely surrounding, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Shiva Jwara. So he said, my daughter, your body is beautiful, peaceful, completely peaceful, devoid of material contamination. There are no actions, reactions in this. So he said, so I take shelter at your lotus feet, giving up all other shelter. So, see, it says, my dear Lord, as long as one is, Shiva Jwara is telling, as far as one is forgetful of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, then he will continue to suffer perpetually. After hearing Shiva Jwara, Lord Kṛṣṇa replied, O three-headed one, I am pleased with your statement of your prayers. Be assured that there will be no more suffering for you from the Narayana Jwara. Now, not only are you now free from fear of Narayana Jwara, but anyone in the future who simply recollects this fight between you and Narayana Jwara will also be freed from all kinds of fear. So by hearing this fight of Narayana Jwara and Shiva Jwara, Kṛṣṇa says, everybody will be freed from all kinds of fear also. So after hearing this from Krishna, the supreme Lord Godhead, the Shivaji offered respectful obeisance at his feet and left. In the meantime, Bāṇāsura somehow or the other recovered from his setbacks, with rejuvenated energy. Hare Krishna, sorry. So Bāṇāsura is returning back, right? So he was throwing his arrows and so much thousands, like torrents of rain. But Krishna was giving it back, and everything was through the Sudarshana disc. He cut off all the arms, just like a gardener twigging the trees, right? So when Lord Shiva saw that his devotee Bāṇāsura could not be saved, even in his presence, he came to his senses and personally came in front of Krishna, began to satisfy Krishna by offering beautiful prayers. Lord Shiva also did wonderful prayers. Say, my dear Lord, you are the worshipable object of the Vedic hymns. One who does not know you considers the impersonal Brahmajyoti to be the ultimate, right? Without knowledge, right? You are behind everything, the spiritual effulgence in your eternal abode. Only the devotees can realize you, no one else. So he says, my dear Lord, you have manifested the whole creation, different parts of the universe, different parts of the, right? As just like the different parts of the universe are the different parts of our body. You are inconceivable. So you always, he is the supreme personality body. So you are the supreme whole, one without a second. This is Krishna, means Shiva's a lot of prayers are there. We can go through that. He says, you are the supreme cause of everything, but of you, there is no cause. You yourself cause your own appearance and disappearance. So, my dear Lord, only by your mercy and grace can the living entity get the human form of life, which is a chance to get out of the miserable condition of material existence. So he says, my dear Lord, you are actually the Dharma super soul of all living entities and supreme controller of everything. So he says wonderful prayers, right? So he says, I pray to you, my dear Lord, that as you were pleased with his he said, but Lord Shiva was telling, my Lord, I may inform you that this Bāṇāsura is very dear to me. He has rendered valuable service unto me. Therefore, I want to see him always happy. So being pleased with him, I have assured him safety. So I pray to you, my Lord, just as you're pleased with his forefathers as King Prahlad and Bali Maharaj, you will also be pleased with him. So after hearing Lord Shiva's prayers, Krishna replied, my dear Shiva, my dear Lord Shiva, I accept your statements, but I also accept your desire for Bāṇāsura. I know that this Bāṇāsura is the son of Bali Maharaj. And as such, I cannot kill him, because that is my promise. Krishna said, I gave a benediction to King Prahlad that demons who would appear in his family could never be killed by me. Therefore, without killing this Bāṇāsura, I simply cut off his arms to deprive him of his false prestige. He left 4 arms balance. So large number of soldiers he was maintaining, they became burdens, so he killed everybody. And he said, Krishna said, out of the 1,000, and he will remain immortal, unaffected by material pains and pressures. I know that he is one of the chief devotees of your lordship. Krishna is telling to Shiva. So you can now be rest assured that henceforward he need not have fear of anything. So when Bāṇāsura was blessed by Lord Krishna in this way, he came before Lord and bowed down before him, touching his head to the earth. He immediately arranged to have his daughter Usha seated with Aniruddha on a nice chariot, and then he presented them before Lord Krishna. So after this, Lord Krishna took charge of Aniruddha and Usha, right? So they left towards Dwaraka. So all the people in Dwaraka, they were getting ready for welcoming them. The roads, see, it was all beautiful, right? Wonderful roads, sprinkled with sandalwood pulp mixed with water, fragrance of sandalwood. So all the citizens joined with friends and relatives to welcome Krishna with wonderful pomp and jubilation, they say, vibration of conch shells, drums, bugles. So in this way, Supreme Personality God Krishna entered his capital, Dwaraka. So Shukadeva Goswami assured King Parikshit that the narration of the fight between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna is not at all inauspicious, like ordinary fights. On the contrary, if one remembers in the morning the narration of this fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, takes pleasure in the victory of Lord Krishna, he will never experience defeat in anywhere in his struggle of life. So this episode of Bāṇāsura's fighting with Krishna and later being saved with the grace of Lord Shiva is confirmation of the statement in the Bhagavad Gita that the worshippers of demigods cannot achieve any benediction without its being sanctioned by Supreme Lord Krishna. So here is in this, and we find that although Bāṇāsura was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, when he faced the death by Krishna, Lord Shiva was not able to save him. Correct? But Lord Shiva appealed to Krishna to save his devotee. And this was sanctioned by Krishna. This is the position of Lord Shri Krishna. So the exact words used in this connection in Bhagavad Gita are Mayeva Vetan Hitan. So this means that without the sanction of the Supreme Lord Krishna, no demigod can award any benediction to his worshipper. These are wonderful points we could learn. They were very nice. So this, by hearing the story that Falashruti have again read, it's very nice, right? If one remembers in the morning the narration of this fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, he takes pleasure in the victory of Krishna. He will never experience defeat anywhere in his struggle of life. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gautam, very good. Vancha kalpataru kripa sandhu bhagavacha patitanam pavani bhi. Sorry for the disturbance in internet. So somehow we will try to, I hope it was clear. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.